I guess I always imagined chiropractic care to be mostly about back cracking. And when I watch you do what you do, it's not that. It's very different than what I thought. I never really contemplated chiropractic care. I don't think I even knew that there was chiropractic care for pediatrics. And when I see parents and bringing their infants in and I see what's going on, I think to myself that I wish this is something that I would have done or had access to when my daughter was little. You know, for a child like my daughter who has various pain and certain issues, it has really been beneficial to her and has really helped. Like I said, I just wasn't ever exposed to it before. And so, you know, I didn't have an understanding of how beneficial it could be. And I'm happy that I made the choice to do that.
Can you describe what your child was experiencing before they started receiving care with us?
She was having difficulty sleeping. She was having a lot of pain in her back, in her neck. She was complaining about how that was affecting her during the day. She was also having a lot of mood swing issues. And so that really is why we came in to see Dr. Tom.
And what other methods or approaches were you trying to address these concerns?
We had tried different supplements, different sleep aids at home. You know, I tried massaging her back as best as I can, those types of things that we could do at home.
Yeah, and how confident were you that your child's issues could be resolved before starting care?
I didn't know, but clearly we had been flailing around for quite some time, and what I was doing at home really wasn't working. So really, when we found Roots Family Chiropractic, we thought we had nothing to lose, so we wanted to give it a try.
When you were looking for ways to help, where were you finding information or doing your research?
Mostly online.
And then how did you decide what could work best when you were, navigating all those different sources that you were looking through?
Well, I know that I was looking for, first of all, I've never been to a chiropractor. No one in my family has ever sought chiropractic care that I'm aware of. So, you know, I really wasn't sure what I should be looking for. But I know for my daughter, she also has some sensory issues, some ADHD. And so I wanted really a pediatric chiropractor who had experience or specialized in working with kids with those types of issues.
Yeah, and what made you finally decide to start chiropractic care for your child? People are going through and trying all these different things. What finally flipped the switch in your head to try chiropractic?
I have a friend of mine who has a son who has ADHD, and I know that they had sought chiropractic care for him and thought that it helped him at least for a period of time. So, you know, I have some friends that have sought that type of care, but really it was just a general feeling of at this point, nothing that we're trying is helping. And so, really, we have nothing to lose. It's not going to hurt. So, why don't we just give it a shot?
Great. And how would you describe the changes you've noticed in your child since starting care?
She really likes her chiropractic appointments, to be honest. I think she looks forward to them during the week. She loves Dr. Tom. It makes her feel, they make her feel better, at least for a period of time after the appointment. So, you know, for us, that's worth it.
How long did it take for you to start seeing positive results and these improvements that you were talking about?
It took a little while, maybe a few months, I would say. And we've had some blips along the way, you know, sometimes sort of in the middle of care where she went through some spurts of having sleeping issues, not because of the chiropractic care, but that's just the nature of the issues that she deals with. And that has drastically improved as of now. So, you know, we've been coming to Dr. Tom for probably about the last year or so, and she's doing much, much better than she was.
Yeah, she seems to be not having as many big flare-ups with pain and she recovers more quickly. How would you describe the changes with sleep and with focus and behavior, mood swings type stuff?
I think, you know, for her, it ebbs and flows. I don't think it's consistently better, but I do think that at least mood wise, and she's, I would say, for the most part, on the upswing. And also, after each treatment, she does tell me that she feels better in terms of her back and the soreness that she has. And like I said, she has been sleeping much, much better. So that's a huge improvement.
Great. And if you had to share the best or most impactful thing for her, what do you feel like has been the biggest one for her since starting care?
I think that she really enjoys working with you, and she feels comfortable coming in. She's not nervous about it. She knows that she's going to feel better on the way out the door than she was on the way in. So, I think that's a big plus. I think it's also made her more aware of certain pain that she's having in her body and how it can be connected to other things. So that is also a positive, I would say.
Great. And how would you describe the overall experience of bringing your child in for care with us? Not necessarily the results, but the overall system for getting started with care, the day-to-day visits, and how everything has gone.
It's been great. So, for at least the process and procedure of it, I work full time, so it's not always easy to run her to various appointments, but these appointments literally take 5 minutes. We're in and out all the time, a couple times a week. So from that standpoint, I don't ever have to worry about how long we're going to be there, because if we're there 5 minutes, it's unusual, I would say. Scheduling has been so easy and great. And I mean, overall, for the most part, we're coming 2 times a week, and we've been doing that for a year. And I've been very, very happy with how it's gone. And quite honestly, I wish I would have known or had access to something like this when she was younger, because I never really contemplated chiropractic care. I don't think I even knew that there was chiropractic care for pediatrics. And when I see parents and bringing their infants in, and I see what's going on, I think to myself that I wish this is something that I would have done or had access to when my daughter was little, because I think she could have benefited from it far before she started going.
Totally get that. I get that so commonly when I, start seeing kids older than 10. They're always like, man, I wish I would have seen you 10 years ago. That would have helped so much in various ways. And maybe we wouldn't be in the same place, but definitely awesome to have her now and be able to create that impact. And so, were there any specific moments or aspects of our care that stood out to you as a parent, or something that surprised you?
I will say that I guess I always imagined chiropractic care to be simply, not simply, but mostly about back cracking. And when I watch you do what you do, it's not that. It's very different than what I thought. And I find that to be very interesting. Even from the very first visit that we had in your office for an evaluation, I guess I never knew that so many systems in your body were connected to your spine and things like that. And so, I mean, it makes sense, but these are just things that I didn't really have any knowledge of.
Totally get that. It's definitely not something that is common out there, but that's where we're trying to be, loud and show that there is something more and something different about what chiropractic can do for everyone. And so, what would you say to another parent who is in a similar position considering chiropractic care for their child?
I would, and I definitely have already told friends and clients of mine who are in similar situations that they need to come see you. I know I've got a client that's seen you for her child already, and she reports to me that she's seen improvement. So, I recommend to anybody, why not give it a try? It certainly can't hurt. And if there's a possibility that it can help, then what is there to lose? And that's sort of the way I felt. And I'm happy that I made the choice to do that.
Awesome. And is there anything else you'd like to share about chiropractic, about how chiropractic care has positively impacted your child and your family?
I think for sure it's opened up my mind to the possibility that chiropractic care can help an awful lot. Like I said, I just wasn't ever exposed to it before. And so, I didn't have an understanding of how beneficial it could be. And, for a child like my daughter who, has various pain and certain issues, it has really been beneficial to her and has really helped. And, when I have a teenager looking forward to visits with you on a couple times a week basis, that tells me that you're doing something right. And there are weeks like I think this week we're only seeing you once, and she will usually tell me, oh gosh, I'm only seeing Dr. Tom once this week, or boy, I really need to get in to see Dr. Tom. And you know that tells me that it's making a positive impact on her, which then positively impacts everybody else in the family.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with our practice. And I look forward to taking care of her in the months to come. And, thank you for trusting me with your family's health.